to each and every one of you today. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast from the Impact Powersports studio. That just sounds fantastic. Impact Powersports studio. Impact Powersports in beautiful Rockford, Michigan. You'll be hearing more about them as the days and weeks go on. But thank you so much for joining me on the show. A daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Boy, where to begin? First of all, most important, the great food giveaway. As we're trying to feed 100 people for Thanksgiving. Now, I do have some news today. $4,685.60 was the cost that we were quoted for all of the food to feed 100 families with a Christmas ham, potatoes, gravy, corn, rolls, a pie. All of that costs plenty of money. We've been raising money. As of right now, we have $2,837.52 raised, leaving us $1,848.08 remaining until we meet the goal. And that's just for the food. Because, as you know, it is great food giveaway number 4 with tampons. Folks that are underserved or underprivileged. I don't even know what right word, what type of nomenclature we're supposed to use, but you know what I mean. Even taking care of something like that can be a gigantic, I love it. Kenny says less fortunate. That's the one I'm going to go with. I've seen you write it before, but it never sticks. Less fortunate. Something like that is, sometimes it's a monumental decision between whether or not they eat or buy those products that, well, I mean, come on. Isn't there some nation that just made them free for everyone? Yeah, that's kind of not a bad idea. You know, if your life is at a level where that's a big decision where it was like, do I eat or get a feminine high? God, help those people out for fuck's sake. So anyway, any extra money, we're going to buy as many of those products as we can to distribute on the day of the Great Food Giveaway number 4 with tampons giveaway. And that falls this year on Thursday, December 21 at 3 p.m. at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. A very nice tip was given to me by a gentleman who, that would be John Paul. John Paul is his name. He let me know that, yo, EZ, I'm pretty sure that the cost of the ham dropped significantly. The way he wrote it was annoying because I was like, wait a minute. He writes, hams on sale at Meijer, $8.99 or 89 cents a pound. You'll save $2,000. He says, always works that way. And this is the part that annoyed me. Don't know why you get the quote from Meijer before December 1. And I'm like, well, excuse the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. I don't know the ins and outs of the grocery industry. So though annoyed, I tracked it down. And apparently, though, the one that we're looking for is not 89 cents a pound, the ham we want, but 99 cents a pound. And I'm pretty sure the one we were quoted was like $2.99 a pound when we did this the first time. So I reached out to my guy at Meijer. I go, yo, is this true? He says, yeah, it is. I go, all right, can you redo the estimate? So it hasn't been 100% confirmed, but I'd say 95% confirmed that our goal is going to be like $2,000 less to feed all these people, which essentially means we've already beaten it. So hold tight on that, and I will let you know. And that means that everything we come up with now, with you generously giving, will go towards the feminine hygiene products for the less fortunate. The Grand Rapids Pit Bull Alliance will also be there giving pet food away, dog, cat, rabbit, you name it, on this day. So people pull up in their car. And then we give them the food. We give them the pet food if needed. We give them the feminine hygiene products if needed. And that's it. No questions asked. In fact, if you're enjoying this show right now on the live stream, this is what you do. If you want to help out, I'm including it in the chat now. My PayPal, Cash App, Venmo spots. You can find me right there. Preferred is Venmo and Cash App. PayPal takes some of the money. Megan, just getting in here. Megan, it's looking like we have a lower estimate for food. Like $2,000 less for food because the price of the hams dropped dramatically. So, Maureen says, well, that's BS. The guy from Meijer should give you the lowest price of the season. He knows what sale prices will be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go ahead and pick a fight with the guy who's helping me, Maureen. How about just shut up and just understand that he didn't know. This is someone I know. This isn't someone who's going to screw me. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? I'm sure he would have given me the lower price had I not said something. God damn. That's a nomination right there for you. Anyway, Chris says, now we can add a bottle of Night Train to each order. Well, I don't know. Do they even still make Night Train wine? All right. So that is the latest. If you could, you see that's what I just posted on the live stream for you to throw a few bucks our way, even if it's only $5. If it's $1, I don't care. I don't care what you give as long as we have strength in numbers. You know, we have only just north of 20 people who have thrown some cash our way. Literally over the weekend, we had 0 people sending any money whatsoever. And I hate begging for money unless if it's for an absolutely incredible cause. And to support these people, give them a free meal and any type of perk would be. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. The looks on these people's faces when we give them the food, it's like this is their respite. This is their oasis at a time when stress and anxiety are burning into their brains. We'd like to help in any way we can. Tim said, I think in years past, they actually gave you a better price on the day you actually paid for the food. See, Maureen? So, yeah. If you could, if you haven't yet, and even if it's just $1, I'm not even kidding, check out those spots online, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and throw a couple of bucks into the pot for Great Food Giveaway 4 with tampons. That is our top priority on this show, all the way up onto the day of the big giveaway. Fox 17 is confirming right now with your old pal EZ about me going over there and visiting with them. It's looking like Thursday, December 14th. And I will be on the television with them on the Fox 17 morning show at 9:20 in the morning. So there'll be some changes to the actual live podcast here. But you can watch it on Fox 17 on Thursday, the 14th at 9:20 a.m. The point of that, 7 days before the Great Food giveaway was to help spread the word that we're there. That is our biggest challenge we've discovered over the years, is keeping a steady stream of people showing up to actually get the food. So that will help. And that's the point of going there, to ensure that more people are aware of it. A lot of the times, we're just standing by the side of the road convincing people to pull over. And, all right, I guess that works. But we'd really like it where if it were someone who knew about it in advance, might make life a little bit easier on them. So excited about that. All right, let's get to the nonsense about the college football playoffs. Some of you, I can't believe that Florida State is not in this thing. And the morons that are watching and listening to this right now are going to throw all this bullshit out about how Florida State isn't any good and they didn't play anybody this year. I don't give a fuck. Going into this final vote to determine the top 4 teams in the playoffs, they were in the top 4. I see so many idiots saying, oh, yeah, well, they shouldn't have been there because they had the 55th toughest schedule in the country. Well, wait a minute. They were voted in all the other votes. What are you? Why were they even voted in during the other votes? Did they not know the strength of schedule then? Who gives a shit? It's called a Power 5 conference. You know, there's all the big conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC, and then after those 5. It's all high school teams. No one gives a fuck about the rest of them. They're all shitty. Well, Florida State is in one of those Power 5 conferences. And all they did all year long was win every game. They did not lose. And then they go into the final vote, and then this committee that decides the top 4, they love the sexiness of an Alabama team in there. And they take the team that hasn't lost and put them out of the playoffs, and take the Alabama team and put them in the playoffs for the very sexy Michigan-Alabama matchup. Okay, there's about a million reasons why Alabama does not belong in there. But the only reason that matters why they don't belong in there is that Florida State had an undefeated season despite losing their quarterback. Their quarterback was injured, and so now they got a backup in there. And so this committee goes, oh, well, they're shitty now. They can't perform. They're shitty. And I, for the life of me, in the spirit of what college football is supposed to be, the fact that these fat fucking old assholes decided that and took that away from these fucking players after they bust their balls and worked their asses off all year long. Who gives a shit if the quarterback's hurt? Who gives a fuck about their strength of schedule, cocks? That would make it for that much better of a story if they go in there. I don't give a shit if they go in there and get jail sexed by Michigan, Florida State. Who gives a fuck? Who knows? Maybe they pull a rabbit out of the hat and fucking something dramatic happens. You can't have anything dramatic happening if you cocksuckers are doing this to them before the playoffs even start. You fucking assholes. God damn. Alabama, fuck that. You fucked it up early in the year. Fuck you. I do not buy that one bit. No way, no how. Florida State should be in there. God damn it, I cannot believe it. They won all their games. They were in the top 4 during every one of these college football playoff rankings that came out. And suddenly, they just decide, after they win their conference championship, again, not convincingly, I get it. When is it? Why is it such a thing where if you don't win convincingly, you're out? That is bullshit. They are being punished for winning all of their games. That's what just happened. We just saw a college football team get punished for winning all their fucking games. Oh, my God. Again, I don't give a shit about your fucking strength of schedule. I don't give a shit about who's hurt. There are other people that play on the football team. Jesus, that is so bad. Now, Alabama plays Michigan. And I am now 100% a Wolverine fan. Alabama has no business being in the playoffs. I want Michigan to win. I am rooting for Michigan. Michigan needs to jail sex Alabama. Thank God Michigan is so fucking good this year. All right? Hey, tell you what, this is the best thing to happen to Michigan is the fact that now, I mean, at the end of the day, look how they're sitting. After the dust has settled, Harbaugh has served his suspension. No one gives a shit about all that Connor Stallions bullshit anymore. That's in the rearview mirror. Now they are sitting pretty number one right now, and I hope to God they humiliate Alabama. Okay, right now, I don't give a shit who wins. Which one of the three teams wins? As long as it's not, of the four teams, I mean, as long as it's not Alabama. That's all that has to happen. No Alabama. The whole world hates Alabama right now. God damn, that is so bad. I cannot believe that Florida State got kept out of that thing. That is just so terrible. The fact that it comes down to this fucking committee looking at the kids at Florida State and say, yeah, we know you've busted your ass, but because one player got hurt, you're out. That is so annoying. That's like an early life lesson that those kids learn. Welcome to the real world where you get fucked right in the butt. God damn it. This is some asshole named Boo Corrigan talking to Reese Davis about coming to the conclusion that they did. Audio check, video check.
State. Why did you choose Alabama?
Well, I think in looking at it, and again, that was the decision, was Alabama at 4. Florida State is a different team than they were through the first 11 weeks. Coach Norvell, their players, their fans, and
look at how insulting. Resume comparison. And they're showing their strength of schedule and all this other shit. Win-loss versus top 25. They're 3-0. Bama's 4-1. This is the big glaring number that's making everybody freak out. This strength of schedule, 55th in the nation. Alabama has 5th. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. So what? Give a little opportunity to an upstart team that has been beating the odds. Isn't there something? Isn't there some? Can't you give something to that? I mean, you'd have a massive underdog going up against Michigan. I mean, and if they won, can you imagine? It would be fantastic. It'd be a great story. Plus, they've got this really politically incorrect mascot logo of like a Seminole Indian screaming his war cry. How is that even a thing anymore?
an incredible season. But as you look at who they are as a team right now, without Jordan Travis, without the offensive dynamic that he brings to it, they are a different team. And the committee voted Alabama 4 and Florida State 5.
There are a number of people in that committee room, Boo, who have football backgrounds. Jim Grobe, great coach at Wake Forest. You had Will Shields, who's a Hall of Fame player. You've got Joe Taylor, great coach. Chris Ault, great coach. When they were debating this, and Booger's been talking about it's okay to win with defense. When the coaches, the football judgment people in the room were debating this, what moved them?
I think it's one of the questions that we do ask is from a coaching standpoint.
Because Alabama gets preference.
You know, who do you want
That's
to
all.
play? Who do you not
It's a sexier matchup.
want to play? And as we go through that, again, looking at where we are today, right? Not where we were 3 weeks ago or, 8 weeks ago. Who do they want to play? Who do they not want to play? And
Such bullshit.
They've got a significant voice in the room. And as we went through that and we went around and around, late last night, came back again this morning to do it again. And, again, we came back with, the top four as we did in Florida State at 5.
There's no way this gets corrected. Either, you know what? Honestly, either way we lose. Because if Alabama wins, that's disgusting. If Michigan wins, that's disgusting. It's going to be insufferable assholes either way you look at it. See, you're either going to have asshole Bama fans or asshole Michigan fans. What a crock of shit. What a way to see out this miserable 4-team playoff system. If you remember the way they came up with this years ago, they go, all right, we're going to start by easing into it and just have a 4-team playoff, which that's not enough. Okay? And now they're expanding it, and next year there will be 12 teams in the playoffs. So we won't have this nearly as much of a debate in the years coming up. All right? So, this is kind of ushering out this bullshit era in a horrible way that I just can't stomach. God damn, how revolting is that? Chris says, let's all just hope Texas wins it all. Joe Martinez says, as much as I want Michigan to win, I believe Texas will take it all. Well, you know what? I don't even think that. I think that Michigan will take it all. Michigan is fucking great. Joe says to me, he texts to me, oh, man, that wasn't a great win for Michigan over Iowa. It's like, are you crazy? He goes, yeah, the offense was a little sluggish. Who gives a shit? They could have scored just 3 points and it would have been a rout. Iowa's kind of shitty on offense, but Michigan's defense is so strong. I mean, seriously. But, see, I can't figure out who I want less in there. I mean, Michigan definitely deserves to be number one. At least Michigan deserves to be in there. They kicked everybody's ass all year. Half their fucking games, they don't even have Harbaugh. You got all that bullshit and all the cheating scandal. Fuck, got to give it to him. Got to give it to him. By the way, Jim Harbaugh, he after the win, he was interviewed, and I didn't realize he's so into baby Jesus. He's one of these Jesus was rooting for us guys. Have you ever heard anybody do that and say, "Oh man, Jesus he really was rooting for us," because they assume that Jesus is rooting for a football team. And to me, there's nothing dumber on the planet than that. Okay? Jesus loves Michigan football, apparently. I hate that. Jesus is like, I have got bigger shit to worry about than your stupid football team. Okay? Quit invoking my name on your dumb football team. I don't give a shit about your football team. I've got wars going on all over the place. Famine, a drought, flooding, and you're telling me to get involved in the football team. Corey says the level of arrogance to think that God or Jesus or Allah or whoever the fuck cares about your sport is so ridiculous. I hate that. It's been a while, but Hurricane Ashley is back. People have been asking questions. Where are you? I mean, it's good that you're here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Blue State Rob says anyone who thinks Jesus watches football needs to be kicked in the cock. He doesn't give a shit. Okay? Yeah, thank him for the food. You know? Baby Jesus, thank you for giving us food to nourish our bodies. Amen. Rub-a-dub-dub. Let's eat the grub or whatever it is. All right. That's how I feel about the college football playoffs. Ton of bullshit. Closer to home. Just when I thought that I was doing fantastic on Christmas shopping, this happens. Queen of the Forest puts out her, we have like this group text. Okay, here's my Christmas list. Okay, all right, great. And I see she wants a new Keurig coffee maker. I go, this sounds great. You know, go on, do my shopping, Amazon, purchase, boom. Everything's great. It arrives at the house. I put it in a secure place where she can't get to it and see the gifts. I want to keep it a secret, you know. I mean, there's really no surprises. Everybody has a list. So pretty much just everybody just buys stuff for each other. It'd be like the same if we all just bought our own thing. It's really quite silly. But I can play along. I think the best way to do it is when a person really has to put thought into it to come up with something on their own, like no lists. If you were to impose a family rule, no Christmas lists. You can only receive gifts. Yeah, you can only buy ones that, hey, I think you need this. I think that lends to, a little bit more thoughtfulness. That's like the real way to do it. But I'm kind of glad that it's just lists. This is what I want because I don't have time to think about that shit. So, and I'm outvoted. Diana is in charge of all this shit. When it comes to Christmas in this house, there's one and one only. When it comes to the decorations, when we put up the tree, the food we're going to eat, how the gifts are distributed. She's got this Adolf Hitler-like mentality on Christmas morning where she figures out how she wants the gifts opened and who gets what. So she'll actually distribute. Okay, Jim, here's yours. And then we all have to watch. Oh, wow, cool. Okay, Dad, here's yours. We all have to watch. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. And then she's like, get video of every second of this. So I use all the space up on my phone and record it all. And for decades now, I have Christmas on my phone, and we have never, ever went back and looked at even one of these. So this year, I'm just going to hold the phone up and not record. It takes about 10 hours to open up all these gifts. It takes forever. We have to have like an intermission. So I buy her the coffee maker. Yesterday, this is fucked up. She comes back from Costco. And she goes, hey, can you help me with the grocery? Costco and Meyer. Help me with the groceries. She calls me as she's pulling in the driveway. I go, sounds good. I'll be right down. Come down and I'll open up the trunk to get the groceries out. And there's a brand new Keurig. And I go, and I have this look on my face like I have with you right now. And I'm like, wait a minute. She put that on her Christmas list. What the fuck is she doing? And she goes, oh, did you get me that? Because she can read my face. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. She goes, yeah, Kevin bought that for us, my brother. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I'm standing in the trunk looking at one of the gifts that you put on your list, and then you went ahead and bought it. You bought it and said it's from your brother for you. That happened. And I go, well, She goes, well, which Keurig did you get me? Which Keurig? Does it look like this one? I go, I don't remember. I don't know. So I'm there with my dick in my hand at the trunk of the car outside, and I go to Amazon. I bought this one. She goes, oh, this one's better. Like, this is so fucked up. She goes, that one's nice, but I like this one better. So I didn't say shit. I was like, okay, save it. Talk about it on the podcast. She goes, we can put that in the RV because the RV one's busted. We can use that little one that you got me. Whatever. I thought I was doing so well because I purchased this and another gift for her. I only need to get her one more gift, and now it's all fucked up. It's like we gotta rethink this approach of how we do things here. You can't. There's a real that's a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, if you ask me. That you put on your list Keurig coffee maker. She's not specific in which one. It doesn't say make sure you get me this one. It just says a new Keurig. So I got a new Keurig, and I felt great about it. Open up the trunk. There's a new Keurig. Oh, yeah, I just bought this for me from my brother, which I guess that was something that they had communicated to each other. I felt like such an asshole. Tyler says, quote, we can use that shitty one for the RV. Blue State Rob says, asshole of the day nomination worthy. Yes, I think that supplants Maureen. Maureen is off the hot seat. And a yellow card. Ryan says, actually pretty amazing when you think about it. She's basically authorizing you to do nothing. Big Fraud no longer has to shop for anything. Blue State Rob says, Pooh Bear lost Pooh Bear points. Kenny says, wow, Christmas knifed. Amanda says, our present from mom and dad is a day sponsorship to WYCE in the name of our brother. Okay. Sounds like it's sentimental there. Our presents from our grandparents is a donation to a local charity. We don't do material goods to avoid the greed. Man, if I tried that in this house, I would get the shit kicked out of me. We go full greed. Full greed. If I even floated that idea, I would be ostracized and excommunicated. God damn. Ryan says nothing better than a good cock kicking. Oh, he's referring to Blue State Rob's comment about anyone who thinks Jesus watches football needs to be kicked in the cock. But I think that the cock kicking could apply to your old pal EZ. Blue State Rob says the best gifts are the ones people don't expect. Aram says, but seriously, that is so mean of her. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily mean. It's just thoughtless. Because she put it on the list. She put it on her list and presented it to all of us. And then thought, well, I'm just going to assume that no one's going to buy it for me, so I'll just go ahead and buy one. She opens up the trunk. I see it, and I got this look on my face like, oh, boy. Oh, no. Yeah, but this one's better. Maybe a little mean. Maybe tiptoeing into the mean realm. Meanish. No big deal, though. Size of the problem. I'll get over it. my wife, for God's sake. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Amanda says we celebrate the true meaning of Christmas. You know, not the birth of Santa Claus. Oh, wow, look at you. Kenny says next year you'll need to check with Mr. Moneybags, a.k.a. the NFK, to see what she's talked him into getting her first. Blue State Rob says it was a total impulse buy, I suspect. I think it was because it was on sale. I think that's exactly what it was. Ryan says, is the Queen of the Forest available for comment on this? I will try. You know, let's see. If you get a second, ... pull away from the class and call me, period. The podcast audience wants to hear you talk about the coffee maker debacle, period. Call me when you get a minute, period. Ashley says, I was going to say, I hope you bought the machine at Costco because they do have a better one there versus Amazon. No, it's definitely a better one. But, I mean, again, on her list, she didn't specify. She just said new Keurig. So I went to Amazon, bought most frequently, bought it, and that was it. Tyler says, great. Now she's going to call all of us cockheads. Kenny says, did the NFK later say to you, hey, man, or he says, hey, man, did you see that sweet coffee maker I got my sister? I love that fucking thing. All right. So that's what happened in my house. So basically, I have to come up with something else to get her on her dumb list. Christmas at our place is weird. I'm just kind of along for the ride. All right. Thanks to you folks who are enjoying the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I appreciate that. But I would love to see you on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Or download the Twitch app. Search Eric Zane Live. And then you can watch the show that way in its entirety. The audio podcast is available for download as soon as I finish this up. I make it available for you. If you ever want to say hello, drop me a line. Email on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I have a Patreon. It's free for 7 days. The latest edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast is up, as well as the latest edition of Who Are These Free Beers, where I get lots of comments from people when I post a free clip. I have to promote Who Are These Free Beers, and that show outside of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast gets the most, buzz around it. And every time I post a new edition of Who Are These Free Beers, I get kind of like a similar reaction from people who, it's really odd. There are people that are like, oh, yeah, it just shows you're not over getting fired. And it's like, no. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. It has nothing to do with true, I do not like Greg at all. I would like nothing better than for Greg to fall on his face. And I know that sounds fucked up, but that's just the way it is. But this is more about the nonsense that they put out in the radio. The indignation and the butthurt that they get when their fans say, hey, what's going on here? And so I'm leaning into that to present to you with my thoughts on what they're doing, audio evidence, along with Ben Glaze. Michael writes, love the beat-ups. They used to nonstop make fun of Bob and Tom for having failed marriages and running segments into the ground, and now look what they've become. I wrote exactly. There wasn't an avenue to do this show in the past, but because of what they do, it begs a review. A lot of what we talk about on who are these freebiers is based on complaints from scores of people on the show's own subreddit. Their made-up Reddit lists, wacky games, numb topics, boredom, and bad jokes all contribute to our content. And then I get a lot of people that are saying, I like your show better when you don't bring your former job into it. You are entertaining enough on your own. And I was like, hey, thanks. Something for everyone, I guess. I publish a lot of material. It's not one size fits all. Enough people love the Free Beer and Hot Wings beat-ups that it's a no-brainer. We'll keep doing it. Derek says, keep going. Absolutely love it. I laugh so hard every time. That's the point of Who Are These Freebeers? It's to laugh. And frankly, if you think about it, from when I was on the radio to now, there is no change. I still swing for the fences every damn time. That is what I do. I would make fun of people on the radio when I was on the radio. So I am the only one who is qualified enough to make fun of that show. Cody says, it's been 8 years. Let it go. And I wrote, I get that, and I hear that a lot, but I don't do this because I can't let it go. Who Are These Freebeers is a very funny show. Ben and I enjoy doing it, as does the audience enjoys hearing and seeing it. Believe me, I let it go forever ago. But the garbage they put out needs a beat up every once in a while. That's on brand with me. It used to be on brand with them. Hence the need for Who Are These Freebeers to exist. Cody says, well, I mean, if it makes you money, I guess, just not healthy. No, it's absolutely healthy. Are you under the impression that it's like I sit here emotionally distraught unless I am able to attack these people? You're reading into it too much. It's all for jokes. Pete writes, you need help, my friend. I was like, how so? He says, it just seems you're a little stuck on this, EZ. I know it was a tough thing, but don't you think that you would be happier if you moved on from it? I do enjoy what you do, but seems like it's time to move on. What is the goal here for you? And I wrote, see the previous comment on this post, which is I stand by it. It's fucking fun. It's fun and funny, and the audience loves it. And anyone who doesn't love it, well, don't listen to it. I'm sorry if you're a pussy. God damn. So anyway, Who Are These Freebeers is available on Patreon for free. Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Tyler says, I guarantee that all of the people criticizing you have never listened to Who Are These Freebeers and don't understand there's a legit reason behind the show. I mean, sure, I always have an axe to grind with Greg. Always. But there's also a degree of professional criticism that goes into that. For example, Greg announcing that he's just kidding with every joke that he makes. From an air check professional standpoint, stop doing that. He cracks a joke and then he's like, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just kidding. It's so bad. So bad. The Danity says Zane is always going to be unapologetically Eric Zane, and that you can take to the bank without a doubt. Without a doubt. The only people who don't like Who Are These Freebeers, they're not so much concerned about my health and getting over it and all that shit. They love that show. We do share an audience, and they don't like it when on my show that they like as well, sticks my fucking finger in their eye, which I've done for decades. I have never changed my game plan. It's the same as it was years ago. In fact, it's even much more intense now. That's the only way I move the meter is by being me. And you know, again, I throw it out there and you take it or leave it. Seems to be working out. I appreciate you. But if you're sitting there saying that, assuming that when you listen to that show that that's the best they can do, they're fucking taking advantage of you. That is a bullshit show that puts zero effort into what they do. And it's disturbing how little they try. Aram seems to be pretty butthurt about Diana and the coffee maker. He digs at my wife. What did Diana buy Eric? A pair of socks. Ryan says it's pretty tiring, the arguments I see you have to do with nitwits that talk down to you about you pulling shit from your old show. Exactly. That is a target-rich environment. I love doing Who Are These Free Beers? Getting a clip that I know makes it sounds like shit and playing it and laughing about it. That's fucking great. Blue State Rob says most of their fans know they are shit. They just don't know how to find better content. Aram said, I don't think they can do worse than that idiotic brainstorming session about who would play trivia that arrived at donut eating. I'm telling you, I'm glad Ben had to review that because just listening to the clips that he presented, I wanted to hang myself. I don't know how anyone with a clear conscience in the audience can listen to that and say, yes, this is good. I'm not wasting my time listening to this drivel. What a pile of shit. Blue State Rob says, Greg won't admit that he's gun shy because of what happened to EZ. He knows it in the back of his head. Aram says, I cannot comprehend how the audience could overlap at this point. You'd be surprised. There are people that listen to me, and they keep it under wraps. And the only time that they really come out of the woodwork, because they still like that show, is when they get offended enough to actually say something to me. Still like my show, but they get butthurt because I'm picking on free beer and hot wings. All right. Again, this show originates in the Impact Powersports studio. More on that in a second. Thank you, Facebook, X, and YouTube for being here.